use that for a particular purchase order to post an invoice using those bound actions, but it's I'm not able to do so. I'm getting that some sort of errors in the postman. I'm not sure what I was doing wrong, or maybe it was for SaaS version because I was trying on the on-prem. Not sure. So if you can have a look, uh, that why it is not posting.
Yeah, I did try it last year. I don't exactly remember how I tried it, but I actually tried creating an unbound action on a custom API, which is super cool to build it. But then I was able to execute it, but I'm pretty sure I did it against a sandbox. I'm not sure I did it against on-prem. But yeah, if there is no one and we three are here and we have to continue discussing about what we were discussing last week, we can do that. I
Okay.
didn't get much time in after last week to analyze where we left, but then I got some comments here and there, so we'll talk about those also.
Okay.
So this is last for this year, and then the next year, anybody who is listening to this recording later, as Dan suggested, we might start playing around with Power Apple a little bit more and see what are the possibilities, built-in possibilities, and then uh, how much custom you can do. Because I had a thought, and here is what it is, and then we'll get back into our session. This session is,
Mhm.
can we build a full-fledged approval from Power Automate? So you can build the basic approval. Everybody have done it, whatever Microsoft have it. But considering the scenario where it can analyze that are there multiple approvers needed based on the amounts and all, and
Mhm.
then can it send the multiple emails as the standard nav or business central does, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm trying right now. I haven't figured it out, the route that I'll take about it. But because when I think about approvals in nav or business central, whatever is done by Microsoft is all working great. I don't think there are any known gaps at this moment. But then whenever a customer says that I need an approval on an area where Microsoft don't have approval, and you go to a developer and ask about estimation, it's somewhere come around 40 to 60 hours approximately, I guess, if you are doing it correctly, if you're doing everything on an approval. Just to take an example, if somebody says I want an approval on my transfer documents, which is not needed, but just assume it takes a pretty good amount of time to build an approval correctly from scratch, making sure that all the conditions that are there in the sales and purchase are also applicable to transfer, will be a complex solution in the development.
Mhm.
But if you look at from Microsoft perspective, the focus right now is low code or no code. And that's where Power Automate, I'm not saying it's no code, but it's surely low code or limited code, should be able to help, and we should be able to expose certain APIs to provide some data from Business Central to Power Automate to build those condition and work around those. Like, I'm pretty sure you can set up an approval, you can send an email to a specific person, so I can create an approval for, let's say, customer, and say whenever a customer approval is requested, send it to Dan, so Dan will always get it. But can that be dynamic as it happens in the standard Business Central product? Can I say, based on this person, identify the approval from approval matrix? Because when you're comparing the products, and if you're building something outside Business Central, then you would like to give it at least the capabilities that are there in the base product. So let's start thinking about it, and maybe in 2023 we will start with that as we go through that. So let's
Okay.
see. have enough think about it, and if that sounds fun, then we'll start playing with it. I also
Mhm.
have it for a very long time in my pool of things that I need to do. But let's give an actual attempt this time and see how things go that way. Okay, so this is our 103rd PC Open discussion, and this is last for this year. We'll not be meeting next week, and then, as we said, we'll start in 2023. And maybe our focus at the beginning of the year will be Power Automate. We'll see how much easy it is to do it now with the Business Central version. What are the latest changes on it? Because we never went into deep of what's new in the latest version. But there are some capabilities added in that area, so we'll utilize that, and then we'll move forward from there. So coming back to our last extension, and let me open it again. Here it is, because I was just playing it before this meeting. So I got a comment from the one of the comment that I got is from the person whose forum post we were referring, Nilesh. So Nilesh said an interesting thing which I'm still not able to figure out how it need to be done, and maybe I'm doing it completely wrong. But let me put his comment here, and then we'll try to analyze it. Okay. Okay. Here is Nilesh comment at the end. So let me zoom this in so that we all can see it. I've seen the last BC Open discussion, and we tried to kind of analyze how to use the E tag for the patch. And what he's saying that you need to remove the last backward slash value from the E tag to make it work. Compare the E tag value that I put in my comment. There is one backward and forward slash need to be removed from E tag value, and after it will work. At this point, this is our E tag look like. And let's check this again. When you do a get on our custom API that we have built last week, you'll get a response like this on this staging table, which is that this is the written responses. And what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to filter out one record, which is with number or ID 20,000, which is Avinav's record. So the standard Microsoft does allow you to do a patch, which is in the API word or HTTP call word is equivalent to do a modify. When you are doing a patch, uh, you have to define a if match condition as we discussed last week. And then what we learned last week that when you're building the API page, which is this page, you can all that interactions are happening based on this field, which is OData key field, and it is not mandatory to keep it system ID, but you can have multiple fields here if needed. But the beauty of keeping it with the system ID is that system understands it. And then if I would like to do a patch or modify a record based on that ID, that'll be more easier than anything else. So let's just for the sake of everybody's understanding, let's copy this and let's paste it here. No, why my copy always fail? Okay. This is my what we did last week. First, we tried with patch with system ID. So for that, what I'll have to do is I'll have to make sure that I'm patching a record based on the GUID. So what is the GUID of this particular record that's being created is this. So I can just pick this, which is the GUID of the record that I'm trying to modify. I can place it here. Oh no, this always gives me problems. So let me copy it from here. That's the same thing. Let me show you. C18, and then this is also that C18, C81. So if I do a get with this ID, I'll get one record, which is, let me do that also just to verify to everyone. Okay, uh, get with system ID. So by default, when you do a get, and if you don't specify a filter, it will typically uh, reply to you with all the records in that particular API page, or eventually in that table. So, but if you would like to operate on one of the record, then you first should try with the get before doing any modify, obviously. So when you do a get based on that GUID, it'll return you that particular GUID because it's kind of acting as a filter on that page. Now you see that the phone number is 998, and what we are trying to do is modify this record, and this time we are changing the phone number to all lines. Which, if you use the system ID, and if the system ID is defined as your OData key field on your page, like this, then you just need to say that if match star. If you find this record, which is getting called in this URL, then do a modification to the phone number field to 99999. So let's do a send, and it should change that to 999. In the same way, now if you do the get, you will see that the change have been done, which is 99999. That's as simple as by doing it by system ID. But what Avinav and me were trying, because we saw some comments and we are trying to figure that out, is if I would like to do a filter like this based on one particular value. So let's say if you are looking to modify all the customers, or the customer which match to a specific criteria, I'm pretty sure you cannot do multiple modifies together. I hope so, because that will be a multi-thread call. But let's see. So if you do a get with a filter string like this, you should again get one record, in our case, where the number is equal to 20,000. So which is, I have done here, filter number. So let me put that down also so that it's easier. Cut. And here. Okay. So in this case, what should happen, that it should show me one record which is equivalent to 20,000. Okay. So the get is working. Everything looks good. What we were trying, Abhinav and me, last week is, can we do a patch using this command? Now, if I use the same string here, which is the star string as we did in the OData case, and I'm this time trying to change this number to, let's say, back to 8, because right now, if you look at it, it should be all lines. So you're trying to change it back to lines 8. So let's do a patch and see what happens. It should end up with an error message saying patch request for this entity collection are not allowed with Business Central OData web service. That means it is not exactly able to find that record and then modify it. So then Avinav suggested that every time you do a get, you get a e tag which gets updated anytime a record is created, modified, or have some actions which will change the value. So every update, the e tag of that record will change. So that's kind of the prerequisite from where we are going to start. And then this is one of the comment that we got, that you need to remove the last backslash, which is this one, which I did try. Let me see where the record is. Oh, it is change, it seems. So let me copy everything again. Okay, and put it here on Notepad. If this does not work, then we might have to invite Nilesh one day to explain us what we are doing completely wrong. What is that one thing that we are missing? because this is what you need in delete also and other things if you have a custom API which have a different OData key field more or less. So this becomes the OData tag, and if you read this, it says you need to remove um, the last backward slash, which is this, I guess. So let's copy this as it is first, and let's try to do a patch. And the match condition is this with the last backslash removed. I'm hoping that's what he's saying. Otherwise, we'll go back and read the post. When I do this, it says request data is invalid. So I should have that post open somewhere because that's important to read right now. Because I'm pretty sure we are missing something for sure. And I would like to understand, as in, I'm pretty sure I'll use the standard OData field. But there might be situations where I might have to go that route, and that's where knowing this will be important. Okay. So going back to the same forum post about the patch request, the patch is failing, and if you look at it, it has the same error of EDM type collection are not allowed with Business Central. But it's trying to send an URL with a body of modification, and then somebody commented that for a patch, I believe you need to identify a single record with parameters in URL and not as like in the body. Like this, he was trying to do it on the body, but I would like to see this. We'll see this, but let's say. So now he did try filtering the specific line by the template name, batch name, and the line number. And then it is using the e tag as it is generated from the get query. And he gets the error request data invalid, which we also got. So at least we are on the right track, it seems, at this point, from the errors perspective. Now, Gret says, I don't think you should include the journal name, template, and the line number in the body. Only include the field you want to change the value of. Also, your e tag does not look correct. Note that the backslashes in PowerShell is probably for escaping the double quote character. So, how should I? Does everybody understand the escape
Even
characters?
even in this this message or this answer by Gret, he removed this first tag, first backward slash tag from the request e tag. If you see that W, only one slash is there, but here is two slash,
Yeah.
one forward and backward, and in the below request it is showing you only one forward.
So he's saying anytime there is a double quote in the e tag, uh, that is taken as in the PowerShell domain. And if you see, it's also removed from here, which is weird that he replaced it with this sign. Hmm. Okay, we'll see that. This is Greg. Okay, that doesn't solve the problem for sure because that thread is a little bit longer.
Let's go down.
Uh, Nilesh tries it and it says bad request. Can you try without the if match just to see if it is formatted correctly? Without the if match, it gives you an error that token is required. And this. Okay, then it complains that if match is missing, but that tells the rest of the request is apparently okay. Try to re-add it, but remove the backslash from it. Okay. I have added if match and again remove all back and forward slashes, but got the same error. So you completely remove everything which is there. Does anybody can come from that patch? Okay. I don't think you should remove the forward slashes, only the backslashes, which is for the escaping the double quotes in PowerShell. Actually, I think the format should look like which he already have shared earlier. Please try that. Okay. I use multiple time day on DC14 on-prem without any problems. Both PowerShell and BC and from BT itself. Multi-tenant environment. Have you tried sharing the customer page and telling the patch words? Okay. Given below error after doing this. The input is not a valid base 64 string. It contains non-64 characters and illegal characters in this. Okay. Strange. But please try this format. Only the double quote, no single quote. Okay. So he reached to what you were saying up enough, it seems. He's saying this time I'm giving you enhance or the new one where I have even removed the single quotes that Greg was suggesting earlier. And it says, oh, that works. After pass the correct value of if match tag. Okay. So that's what it is. That this is all. You just need to make sure that if there is an escape sequence, which here in this case, it's an escape sequence for double quotes. Sorry. Same here. This is the escape sequence for this. In our case, the E tag looks like this. I'm hoping. Let's do a copy. Let's do a paste here. And if we follow the same rules, let's try that out. We will remove this slash and this slash. Okay. Let's copy this. Let's go back to VS Code. Hopefully this works. Let's see. Okay. Now let's try to do a patch. And before that, let's do a get and see the value is all times 9. I'm hoping. Okay, all time 9s. Let's do a patch. Okay. Hmm. This still doesn't like the idea of we typing it in. Somehow. Application JSON. If match is this. And that's kind of a key value combination. And I guess we use the same thing. Hmm. Something is seriously wrong what we are trying to do. But what is that? Should I remove the filter Avinav and then try it out? So
Maybe
this will be
yes.
unique for this record. I doubt,
Mm,
but let's check. No, that's not it. So we're doing something surely wrong. And I don't know. Authorization is this, content type is application JSON, which is correct. And if match is set to without the escape sequence, double quotes. Hmm. Where we are going wrong? Does it get based on this? I haven't tried this. And maybe you're doing it in the wrong way. Doing a get. So let's try the get first. Not a problem. Let's remove this. Let's see does it does the get. No, it does not do the get. Yes. We have to spend some time to understand what I'm doing wrong in this piece for sure. Because if I can do a get, and after the get, if I'm taking the e tag for the if match property, that should exactly match to what I would say.
Right, that should work, I
The number
guess.
is still all times 9. What would? What man? I'm enough.
I'm saying that should work. That I mean, we are approaching with the same. We're doing with the same approach, so I guess that should work.
Yeah, that should work. But okay, let's not waste time into it. Avinav, do you know for a fact which API page from standard Microsoft have an unbound action? Otherwise, I'll have to find that.
Yeah, yeah. It's on purchase orders. You will have on purchase orders.
Okay. So for everybody's understanding, let me open the source for that first, so that we all can see what those are and what functionality they bring into the table when you use those. Because that's just surely neat design altogether. Okay. Okay. Here is API v2, and now you said purchase
Purchase orders,
invoice, purchase
orders. You'll
order,
see. Yeah,
uh, purchase
purchase orders. Yeah.
orders. Okay, here's a purchase order. Okay, let's close the area. On delete, on insert, on modify, on recalculate, on open page. Hmm.
It should have a receive an invoice or procedure with the service enabled tag. Mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
service
this
enabled.
one.
Oh, so if you look at it, sir, it says scope cloud,
Yeah,
so it will never run on prem.
that's why. I
Sorry,
mean, yeah,
that's the reason that it's not running. Because for some reason, Microsoft have only scoped it for cloud. Receive an invoice. So, do you know how you tried it? And let's play with it. If we, I don't think that's a problem.
it's. I guess
So what?
when I was trying this functionality, even after that request, when we need to find a purchase header, right? So we need to put at the system ID of the purchase order to find a single purchase order, and after that you need to put slash and write nav dot this procedure name.
Let's see that.
Yeah.
Just give nav actions, yeah, something like that. So let's do a get of all the APIs from Microsoft, so that at
And
least we can
if
see
we have
them.
any sandbox environment, we can try on that as well. Because I don't have any, so that's why. Yeah.
That's okay. Let's try that.
Mhm.
Purchase order. Oh, I'm doing this way. Purchase order. Okay. Here is the API for it. Purchase orders. So let's do a call for this first. So let me refresh all these parameters so that I can run this. Okay, company already set. And now I should be able to do a uh, get purchase orders. Let me know if I have to change the font or anything or the color of my screen if that's becoming a problem. This URL and then API slash v 2.0 slash companies and then company ID, and then at the end I need the purchase orders. Again, I'm using basic just for the demo purposes. This is not to be used ever in a production environment. And if you're on SaaS, you cannot run it technically. Okay, so let's do a get of this at the end. Here we are. So at this point, it should return me all the purchase orders if everything goes well. Hmm? What I'm doing wrong? The company ID set? Yes, the company ID set. If I can get the items, then I should be able to get it. Am I typing something wrong? Oh yeah, there is one extra bracket here. Okay. No, there are there are three on this side and two on this side. Oh man. Okay. So this should be able to give me all the purchase order that are there in the system right now. Okay, here it is. This is my purchase order number 106001, and then there's 106002, and so on and so forth. So this is for getting all the purchase orders. Now as Evan want, let's do a get specific purchase order. And to get one specific purchase order, let's use the ID of it, which is 10600021. So what you do after that, you just come here and filter it out with that ID. So at this point, it should give me one purchase order, which is 106002. So before we move ahead, let's first see is there something to post on that purchase order or not. Okay, come on. 106002. Let's try to do a preview post. Is it possible? Preview posting. Yes, and it seems system is allowed to post it. Everything looks good. There is an item. It's taking a long time, but I hope that should work. But okay, I have enough. Do you know something about it? You want to talk about the unbound actions for some time? Or-
Yeah, I guess after this, what we have put that system ID against that URL, right? So instead of get, we need to use a post method, and after that particular URL, we need to append with nav dot receive an invoice. I mean, few of the in few of the blogs, it's been written Microsoft dot nav dot uh, procedure, and in the standard Microsoft document, it's been written nav dot procedure.
Okay.
So if we can put directly receive an invoice, nav dot receive an invoice after that, then that should work, I guess. But
Okay.
instead of
So just for our clarity, let's add a 23047. Okay, not a problem. Let's minimize this, and you're trying now to post this, right? So you get this, and then you post it. So okay, help us here. You said after this, put a slash and then do a
nav
nav
dot,
dot.
yeah, receive an invoice, the procedure name.
There's no auto intelligence. No. Okay, which technically means this method, this procedure in the
Yeah,
API. Now, and you said it should be post. It can. Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's not a get statement. It's a post statement. So at this point, if I run this, it should start posting this, or do I need to
I
pass
mean,
anything else?
uh, that's it, I guess. But we have to use a post method. Yeah. Okay.
I have changed it to post. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure that whether your screen is slower on my side or everyone's side.
It may be. Sometime go
Hmm.
a little bit faster on things. Let me know when you're there.
Okay. I guess let's start. Let's run the request. I guess.
Okay. So let's try to send the request and let's see what happens. And it says no HTTP request found
Yeah. Even I was getting the same
with the
same
nav.
message. Not sure what's
Okay.
wrong exactly.
There's a AJ blog about it. Let me find that and we'll see that because my experience also on the unbound
This is the
actions.
bound action. This is the bound action.
Okay, this is a bound action. No, I found a community post that bound action on custom API getting bad request not found because this guy is trying something. Then hmm. I recently added a new action to the bar. Hope it inspires you. Hmm. Apparently, the bound action is renamed with initial lowercasing. My procedure become to my procedure. Looks up with the metadata, and the procedure, when called, needs to be prepended with Microsoft.nav. Also, if you want to return the values, only primitive seems to allowed. You can't use the standard procedure pattern. Procedure my this available in return type one need to get zero. Okay. Hmm. So the first thing it says instead of nav, and these are case sensitive, so use Microsoft.nav. So let's try that. Okay. Hmm. Again, no HTTP request found for that. Okay. Picking up that and pass setting up the environment. These all are setting up the environment. And then okay, here he built this. What happens with this? He created a page. And then he created a API page. And then in the end, he can do Power Automate setup, which is the page. Okay, so then he returns the page. He gets this. Oh, he's showing how you can manually create everything. But that's what we are not looking for. Hmm. Okay. Robert has a blog. That was true. Bound action. Your web service or data company document, in this case, calling a post of the sales order is this. Hmm. But how you call them? We are not interested in creating one right now. Hmm. One from CloudFront. It's also showing to create one, which we don't need. No, we don't need this at this moment. Okay, so this is from AJ, and he should have a lot of these. This is now obviously for more or data unbound. This is about unbound. Bound. Let's understand the difference. As you know, it is possible to define action on API pages that are called with RESTful API call. You can post a sales invoice like this, post the URL, and then slash Microsoft.dynamics or Microsoft.nav.post. And then you pass the authorization, and then, oh, you have to define the content type. Maybe we missed that. Okay, nothing was found. What are we missing in this case? Company ID, sales invoice ID. That's it. Hmm. Purchase order.
I
Yeah.
was thinking, if Microsoft has given this procedure in that API page, it should work somehow, but it's not working for me, and I'm not sure. I mean, because I was, spent quite a lot of time on that, and with struggling with the same thing. Even I tried Microsoft.nav, dot everything, but it didn't work. I'm not able to post this thing, but I was doing this in the on-prem side. Even I tried once on the on sandbox with one of my friend online, but that didn't work as well. This is the last part which I was struggling on, so thought to ask with you.
That's okay. I'm doing something on that for sure. While you're asking that question, I always thought that they'll always work, and I guess that's the reason I never tried that. Correct. My end. Invoices with the ID slash Microsoft dot nav dot post. Hmm. Okay. Found actions. Hmm. He never wrote about. Should we try the sales one? Because everybody's talking about it. Let's see. Does that even work? Sales invoice one. Sales invoices. Just to clarify the confusion, that is it a problem in everyone, or we are doing something wrong? Maybe we are doing something wrong. Get all sales invoices. Okay. Let's do a get of the sales invoices, and then let's pick one and try to post it and see what happens. Okay, so we should get all at this point of all the sales invoices. Ah, there's no sales invoices. No, that's incorrect. There should be sales invoices, obviously. How come there are no sales invoices? That's weird. There are. Hmm. Is that API does not is not called as sales invoices now? Let me open the Microsoft extension and see the sales invoices. No, it's called sales invoices. Is that about the
Huh?
case? Okay, it does that way. It shows me. Oh, it shows me PS. Is that posted? All these are posted. PS INV 00301. Okay, posted. Where is posted sales invoice? Okay, let me see. Yeah, these all are posted. But let's do a sales order. Is there a sales order one? Mm, okay, here it is. Sales orders. Okay, I see one. Let's pick the first one just to keep it simple. Okay, so I should get one at this point. Okay, and now let's try to post this. Okay, now the change that I have to do is make it as post, and then here I have to do a Microsoft dot nav dot, and I have to look at the sales order unbound action. Ship an invoice. No, we are doing something wrong for sure. Does the post needs a body even if it is empty?
Do you maybe need to select the quantity? I don't know if the you can set a default so the quantity to ship is 0, or it could be the full amount. I don't know what it's set to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
but
don't know
let's
if
check
that's
that.
I don't know if that's the
Yeah,
issue. It's just a thought, though.
yeah, but let's check that. Let's check that. But yeah, the error is kind
You'd
of
think it'd
that.
say there's nothing to ship or something, a different message, but
Hmm. Okay, posting. It does post, so that means they have things.
yeah.
It says no resource was found that matches the request URI. This company's this sales orders this slash Microsoft.nav dot invoice. Okay. This is new. I always thought that they'll work as easy. Never thought about it. Declaring. We don't need declaring. We hope that's already declared. Registering. I'm hoping that's done. Verifying, which is post OData v4. Is it? I can't do it with the API. Hmm. Abhinav, did you try with the OData format rather than the API?
No, I didn't try it because I seen that same AJ post where he mentioned that it related to that particular API call, right? In his blog, it's mentioned the API call. So I tried with that way, not uh, publish this with the web services, because this is something which is your API call, right?
Yeah, that was what AJ was referring was the API call. Web service. You'll see the URL for target service. Well, let's try this once. Maybe. I don't know. Base URL OData v4 company. Oh no, man. That's equivalent to that. I don't think that's a problem. Okay. Bound action. Okay. There's surely something to find out before the end of the year. This is important. I never had to use it, but I always thought, oh yeah, it's super simple. It'll run. Call custom REST API web service using directly documentation of that. It says post this Microsoft.nav. Whatever the method name. Okay. It's about action. Nobody had talked about it in general as in, is it supposed to be working as? Oh man. Okay, consent REST API. Creating a custom one is not that different. That's I'm pretty sure I have created once and ran it. But get picture parameter EDM UID. Okay. But tell me one thing, because this is a little bit confusing for me. I'll have to dig deep into it. It says you need to give it a action context.
That should, I guess, that's a where I guess that should comes in a response.
But I'm not sending anything to return it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even I mean, so like
Oh, it's the
I
response of did your call ran or not.
right.
Hmm.
So it is, if you see in the that it's saying that it's been deleted or it's been posted or created, something like that. Action context, set result code, something. Yeah, this one.
This one?
Uh, line number 799.
Set result. Oh, deleted.
So in your post part, it is calling that action, set result code, and it is executing that part.
Okay. So why it cannot do a ship an invoice? I'm missing something when I'm doing this post command. It says this slash Microsoft.nav.ship an invoice. Then in this, this is not found. Let me change it to detailed if I can. Okay. Add request not found. No HTTP is also found that founds HTTP this 2.0 complete this sales order this. It actually finds it till here, which I've tested here on the send, which is which is companies in sales, but there should be a sales order filter on that. It is not there. Oh, that's just the entity reference, and then it finds it based on the entity. That means till here it's working. I'm surely doing something wrong either here. Now these guys are saying nav.copy or whatever the method is, which is super confusing. Nope. I'll surely have to spend some time during this week, which is a little bit low in terms of work, for sure. I'm hoping. But yeah, thanks, man. I always thought it'd be a cakewalk to run these bound actions, but it seems it is not. Or maybe I'm missing something very basic. And on Monday, when this recording goes live, somebody will say, "Oh, you should have done this, and it should have worked like this easily." But I guess that's where I'm getting stuck somewhere. But I can read it till here, but then I cannot do this. And the pattern is same, I guess, that wherever I'm seeing, I can see that everybody is doing the slash Microsoft dot this. The bracket for the ID, and then this is now dot post.
In this meeting, he himself doesn't what say. I mean, he doesn't give that proper example whether it's been working or not for him as well.
And I don't know, maybe it's not being used right now. Maybe you are the first one who's, and I can be completely wrong on it. I know there are customers who would like to use all this. It makes sense rather than going into Business Central. If you can do it from outside, those are created, you have approved them and all. So having this capabilities from API is surely a great thing. But then surely something that I am not getting at this point. Okay, so I'm taking back two questions today then. One about the bounded action, which we'll talk about for sure. And then other whatever I'm doing on the Power Automate, we'll keep looking at. And then if Nilesh is listening to it, we did try, man, whatever you suggested. For us, for some reason, it did not work. So either we are naive on this and we know nothing about it, but it's important. We need to understand how it is working. So I guarantee you that next year when we meet on the first day, I'll have a response for this. Either somebody from the community comments on the video, that make it easier. Otherwise, I'll make sure that I'll identify, I'll read about it, how you actually call a unbound or sorry, a bound action eventually. Unbound I have tried for sure, but how you call
Even Unbound I have tried as well. That works.
that
But this,
super
yeah,
easy. That works super fine. As in, there's never a problem on the unbound one. I never had to
right.
see a problem on that. But yeah, it was fun to see that the bounded one is something that I never thought that they'll be so hard to kind of eventually work on. But it seems
Even
they have.
I was waiting for this Saturday, so I thought that you might have work on this, so it will be good for me that I mean I get some sort of answer. But still, it's I mean it's
I'll
surely
let you know
something
if I
that,
find before.
yeah,
I'll
perfect,
send you an
perfect,
email if I find before,
perfect, man.
and then we'll quickly discuss it in the next meeting if that's still a topic. But yeah, I'll surely do my research during this weekend, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow, if time permits, on Monday, and then we'll let you know that it. Okay,
Oh,
so enjoy Christmas and New Year, and then we'll see you in 2023. Thank you all
I
for.
guess Jignesh is having a question. He raises hand.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Jignesh.
Hey, hi Saurav. There is a one small question. I think
Mm-hmm.
you can help. So, in a Business Central 19 BC 19, my client required that my session will be keep alive. So there is a message like after sometimes it is giving a message like you are away, you need to refresh the screen. So we need to avoid that. So what settings we have tried multiple settings, but we could not achieve that goal. So is there any limitation of product or BC 19 or something we can do?
I will have to check that because we have very few on-premise customers right now. But then, just out of context, there is surely some utilities available on the web, which
Okay.
in every minute or 10 second, and I'm pretty sure they are configurable, hovers your mouse. And I guess if your mouse moves here and there on the screen, it will never kill that session. But there should be a setting for on-prem. I'll have to check that, man. I don't
So
even have
it
an on-prem installed.
I have checking some two settings like idle timeout or session timeout and keep alive interval some settings. But
Mm-hmm,
still, I cannot manage that settings like to my keep for some time. My even though I'm idle for some time,
mm-hmm.
but my screen will be like item list. So there will be item list, not no getting a message like refresh the screen. So I think you can check as if you found something and just you can update. It would be
So
great.
how long your customer would like to keep his session
Uh,
active?
15 or 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes. I think it's a max to max.
Okay. Anyone was saying something? I heard someone. But okay. Yeah, I'll have to check, man. I'll have to install it locally and then verify what those settings are before I can respond to that.
Thank you very much, and have
Okay.
a good weekend and Christmas.
Okay. Have fun, guys. We'll see you.
Thank
Mm,
you.
bye, Saurav. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance.
Thanks, man. Same to you. And let's hope we'll be able to continue this in next year. If, as I keep on saying, if there is one person other than me, I'll happy to host these as long as we want. But yeah, on a fine week, if there is no one, I might kill that session for that day. But yeah, I'm optimistic that we'll do wonders next year. We'll discuss about some major problems if there are any, and with your help, we'll try to keep this alive as long as we can. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting this series, man.
Not a
Cheers.
problem, man.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so if you are still here, then thank you for all of you who are not able to physically join this meeting, as in not physically, but are able to join this meeting. I know there are certain nuances of different time zones and it gets hosted on a weekend, so it gets hard. But thank you for all your comments on YouTube. Thank you for all your suggestions that you send via email or on social media. I do try to answer all those questions, but there is always a limit of time. But I'll try my best next year. And thank you for all your support and help to make these even possible for now for 3 years in a row. So thank you. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. And we'll see you in 2023.